you know that only 10% of you have subscribed? So if you're part of the 90 that isn't, please consider subscribing today. Hey ho, Cybertron here, and today I'm doing a video on Transformers WFC Kingdom Deluxe Class Cheetor. So here he is in his Cheetah Mode, looking very much like a cheetah. You know, he's all yellow with the black spots. Unfortunately, he's got bits of blue, you know, for robot mode, but it's not that bad. As you can see, unfortunately, I've had a little bit of paint chipping, as well as also a snap here on this hinge, which means I've got to be quite careful when transforming it. But yeah, it looks quite a lot like a cheetah. The head sculpt is very nice. It doesn't have pupils, which is kind of weird. And there's a little bit of a paint defect here. It's alright. So articulation, the mouth can open and close. Unfortunately, there's no head articulation, which you'd think there would be with this seam here. I feel like they could, at the very least, fit a hinge, maybe even a ball joint. But, nah, you get what you get. The arms are on hinges as well as ball joints, or the front legs, I guess. Hinges as well as ball joints here. So you can really do, you can get them in all sorts of positions, really. And there is a bend at the knee, I guess, elbow. And then a ball joint at the foot. The back legs are on a hinge, so they can move forward, and, well, they can move back. They can't really move forward, unfortunately, unless you kind of move it out like that, but that kind of breaks it. The knee is kind of on a bend, but it only really bends forward, which I guess you could use like that, but eh. And the foot is on a ball joint. The tail doesn't really move. You can hinge it slightly here, but it doesn't look all that good. And finally, for beast mode, there are these, the robot feet are sticking out, which is a bit of a shame, but there's not much you can really do about that. The painting on the stomach, the chest, I guess, it's quite nice, as well as on the bottom of the head. It would have been nice if maybe it could be down here, but you know, those become the arms. I can kind of see why not. Yep, there's that. Here he is next to Kingdom Core Class Rat Trap. You know, the scale isn't great, obviously. Even in the original show, I think the rat mode was probably quite a bit smaller than this. Here he is with another deluxe class quadrupedal mammal, Weird Wolf from the Retro Headmaster series. And finally, here he is with Earthrise Leader Class Optimus. That is either a very, very small truck or a huge cheetah. So for transformation, what you're going to want to do is you want to come to the back and you're going to want to pull out the tail. Just like that. Then you want to come to the legs and move them back like this. Same with these legs as well. Then you're going to want to come to the chest and just split it open like this. Come to the head, open the mouth, and you know, because mine is broken, I'm going to be very careful here, but you're just going to take this down, and this little peg here will go into the slot inside the mouth, like that. Then you want to come to the arms, fold them out like this. Take these pieces, they'll just fold around like that. Come to the legs, these will fold up, and as you push them up, the feet will get pushed out like this. Same on this side, just like that. And you want to come to the arms, move them around and down like this. Same on this side. The backpack, you want to fold the legs in a bit, and then just fold these back. I like to sort of angle them a bit like that. Some people do it differently. Some people have some of the legs overlapping, or you know, other stuff like that. This is how I like to do it. And I just want to make sure the arms are straight. Come to the fists, move them around like this. And come to the head. You need to push the ball joint back like that, and turn it around, just like that. There is Cheetor in his robot mode. Now, Cheetor is a pretty good deluxe class figure. The overall sculpting on the face and the arms is pretty nice. So you've got these nice little details on the arms, and the head sculpt is also very nice with those bright orange eyes and the tiny little maximal symbol on the forehead. Now these the back of the, I guess, cheetah chest here also has these nice little circular designs to emulate the sort of design that the original Beast Wars animation model had, where these are a lot smaller, and, you know, of course they can't really do that with this because that would be very difficult to pull off a size like this. And he's got this little face on his crotch. Seems to be a bit of a trend with the Beast Wars figures. I've also seen that Optimus Primal has it. I don't own Optimus Primal, but his crotch looks like Sid the Sloth from Ice Age. I really like how the cheetah head ends up on the chest like this and doesn't use faux pieces like the masterpiece. But yeah, that's pretty much it for a general overview. I guess we could look at the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, so it can move up. It can't really move down, but it can move side to side. Unfortunately, because some of this kibble here, if you want to have it facing backwards, you've got to move it up. But the only reason you do that is for transformation, so you don't really need to worry about that. There are butterfly joints on the arms, so they can move forward and backwards. Then there is a hinge here, and a hinge here, so you can get the arms in quite a few dynamic positions. There is a swivel here, and a bend at the elbow, like that, slightly over 90 degrees. And then there is a wrist swivel. Unfortunately, there is this large piece of kibble on the back, but I don't think it ruins the figure that much. There is a waist swivel, as you can see. The legs are on hinges. They can move back that far and forward this far. If you move them out, they can move a little further back and a little further forward, or you can lift up the crotch piece and the legs can go forward even further. Then there is a bend at the knee as well as a swivel just above the knee. And then the ankle, or the foot, is on a hinge and the ankle is on a pivot like that. And that's about it for the articulation. So one thing about this figure is the choice of blue. This blue is a very light blue for Cheetor. He had a much darker and richer blue in the original TV show. I don't really know why they went for this. Maybe just so they can release the Netflix version with the darker blue. But I feel like they could have made this dark blue and then just released the Netflix one without the blue on the legs and with the gold pieces, because Cheetor also had a lot of gold. And that is one reason I picked up this one rather than the Netflix one, because I feel like he really needs this blue on the legs. Maybe at some point we'll get one which is blue in all of these places, the darker blue with some extra gold as well. I could always customize it if I want to. I also don't like the choice of yellow that they used on that Cheetor. It's more of an orange. I don't really like how it looks. Now, of course, Cheetor comes with his weapon, which is a thing. It's like a whip with a sharp thing on it. This is obviously inspired by his Transmetal 2 weapon. Oh, not his Transmetal 2, his Transmetal weapon. I always get Transmetal and Transmetal 2 mixed up. Just Transmetal 2 sounds so much more like a thing for me, I guess. He can, of course, hold it in his hand like this. But you can't really get too many dynamic positions with it because just of the odd shape. If it had maybe a couple hinges that you could move, then it might be a little bit more easy to do something with it then. He can also hold it like this, which I've seen a couple people do with the Netflix one, because the Netflix one, this piece isn't painted. But with this one, it just looks a bit odd. This weapon in general is just kind of odd. I wish he came with his gut gun. I know Tigertron comes with his gut gun, but I think it's probably too big for this guy, which is a shame. Maybe at some point they'll release like a weapons pack that might, you know, like the Centurion drone. They might release a weapons pack that comes with a gun for him, a gut gun. Maybe also one for Shadow Panther, the black repaint with the mutant head. But yeah, that's pretty much it for like the articulation and whatnot. So I guess we'll move on to size comparisons. Here he is with Rat Trap. This sizing isn't great. I know Rat Trap was quite a bit bigger in the original TV show, but I don't really mind this. I think having him much bigger would have kind of ruined the Rat Mode. I think the Rat Mode would have been way too big and it wouldn't have looked good, I think. So I think this is a pretty good compromise. Here he is next to Weird Wolf. as you can see, he's quite a bit shorter and also a lot skinnier, but the transformation is also vastly more complicated. And here he is next to Optimus Prime. Just raise the camera up a bit and move it back. You can see that whilst he's a lot shorter, the scale is way off. If I quickly bring in a minifigure, Cheetor should only be, in the original TV show, a little bit taller than this, because he's only a little bit taller than a normal human. So this scale is just way off. But, like they were going to release a Cheetor figure this big with this transformation. No. And also, in more recent media, like the War of Cybertron trilogy Netflix series, the Beast Wars characters are more around this size, which I'm completely fine with. I think it works fine, especially with the prehistoric Earth setting. You know, they don't need to disguise because there's no one to disguise to. Yep, so that's about it for Cheetor. I really do like this figure. It's just a big shame that this little piece of plastic broke off. That, and also the other side as well, is also chipping. There's a couple little chips on this side, which is a huge shame, because this is a really nice figure. It also would have been nice, of course, if he came with his gut gun and maybe a way to store that in robot mode. I guess you could do that, but yeah. I guess I could quickly talk about the weapon ports. He has 2 on the bottom of his feet, and that's it. Oh, of course, his hands. Yeah, I may have to buy another one of these just so this isn't chipped, because I'm so worried that it's going to break. I really am. I'm really worried that it's going to break, and then the Cheetah head is just going to fall off. Yeah, I'm sure at some point we might get a 2-pack of Cheetor and Shadow Panther. Cheetor with the mutant head and Shadow Panther with the regular head. I'm sure we'll get that at some point. Maybe this guy will also get repainted into, what's his name, Night Prowler? Was that his name? The silver one, grey one. One of the Halloween horror cons from back in the day. But yeah, that's a bit for this video. So I guess that's Salut BC out.